Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mason Brown. I am the guy who sits on this side of the camera, and I am happy to have you back. I've been going over a little bit of a short introductory series, going over a few of my favorite things. You may have already watched a couple of these videos. I've got one up on my favorite movies, I've got one up on my favorite book series, but this one today, as the title suggests, is going to be an overview of a few of my favorite things, YouTube edition. Now I have been, and I've said this before, I have been a big fan of YouTube. I have followed many different people over the course of my time as a YouTube subscriber, YouTube fan. I've even dabbled around in the dark arts of YouTube myself. I've done some videos over the years of various different natures. I did a Monday mornings talk show with my brother Addison. I'll link those in the description down below. I'll also try to post those on my channel. I've also actually dabbled in a little bit more of skit comedy and some more comedic educational videos. Those were back in the good old days when the future was bright and the hair was still there. But today I want to go over a few of my favorite YouTubers. Some of these I've been watching for years. Some of them I've been watching really only for a year or two now. But a lot of these are very influential in inspiring me to start my own channel. You'll see just by watching some of these other YouTubers, you'll see things that'll influence my approach to YouTube, things that I enjoy, things that I find interesting, things that have inspired me and motivated me to do it myself, to try it out and see where things go, give it my best shot, and have a fun ride along the way. So without further ado, I want to dive into my top picks for a few of my favorite things, YouTube edition. First up on my list, I have YouTuber Chris Ramsay. Chris Ramsay has made a name for himself on YouTube for being a magician and a mentalist. He does some videos of street performances and card tricks and various things. He also does reaction videos of a magician reacting to other videos, other magic videos that he sees online. And it's always interesting to see him break down kind of the way that tricks are done or the way that he thinks they're done. As well as kind of just be astounded at what people can do with fancy card tricks and mentalism and things of that nature. I have a long-standing fascination with magic myself. I've dabbled a little bit, certainly not exclusively. But, you know, I've had magic sets growing up, and I've had, learned some card tricks and gotten some books and collections and things of that nature. I can do a few tricks, not super well, but it's always been a fascination of mine. So that's one reason why I like Chris Ramsay, but the main reason that I watch his content is for the puzzles. Now, I've expressed before on this channel my fascination with treasure hunts and mysteries and riddles and puzzles and you know, solving clues and kind of trying to get to the bottom of some kind of secret. Chris Ramsay's content I find great for this. He works on elaborate and expensive puzzle boxes. Some of the greatest, most beautiful, most intricate, most complex puzzles that I have seen. Now, he doesn't design them himself, although he does sell a few. But he specializes in finding or receiving complex puzzles and then solving them on YouTube. And it is fascinating to see the kind of content, the kind of puzzles that he finds. Across the board, he has some very interesting Lego puzzles that he's broken down. I'm a big fan of Lego, if you can't tell. But he has just a wide variety of different puzzles, puzzle boxes, puzzle pieces, and just kind of oddities that he has that are always interesting to look at. So Chris Ramsay is always, it's always a good time whenever he posts a new video with some large, elaborate, complex puzzle box. I know I'm in for a treat. Next up on the list is Corridor Digital. Now, this is a channel that's been around, a company that's been around for over 10 years. And 10 years on YouTube is a long time, but they have done some fantastic content. They continue to churn out very interesting, very informational videos that are always engaging and entertaining. The crew and the things that they do, the shenanigans they get up to, it's a grand old time. But some of my favorite things that they have done are these stunt videos. Now, you've likely seen them yourself, judging by the view counts that these videos get, but they put out regular stunt artist react videos. Now, I myself am a trained actor. I've got my BFA in acting, and I've taken some stage combat classes, stage combat workshops, So I've worked on some light stunts and choreographed fights of all nature. But it is so interesting to see the professionals who are working on some of your favorite films and break down some of the incredible stunts and fight sequences that they're able to pull off. The way that the camera and the crew and the stunt doubles and the actors all have to work together in tandem. The sort of tricks that they pull to make you think that they're doing things that are far more dangerous than they are. Sometimes they're just doing crazy things. But it's incredible to see them break down these fights, these sequences, these stunts, and just appreciate the level of art and design and coordination that goes into all of these stunts, which every time I see one of these videos, it creates a sense of wonder in me to see this is incredible that we can do all of this in a way that is relatively safe. Next up, and in a very similar vein, are the VFX breakdowns that they do. They do these about as regularly as the stunt. They probably do these a little bit more regularly, honestly. They post these every Saturday morning, and you best believe every Saturday morning I'm grabbing my breakfast and I'm sitting on the couch and watching their newest breakdown. Now, I don't know much about VFX, or anything that I do know, honestly, I learned from these guys. The way that they take shots and sequences that have been put into, again, some of your favorite films and TV shows, break down just how they were captured, just how they were created, and the coordination, again, that it takes between the film crew and the computer crew. Working on some of these shots, working on some of these things, it's incredible, and I've learned so much just by watching them. I especially love when they get a guest on, when they get somebody to come on who's been in the profession for years, who's worked on some of these fantastic films, to showcase just how they created some of these memorable effects that we have seen in videos. It's just incredible, and a lot of fun. Honestly, I feel like they're too short. I could watch these for hours. And lastly, I just have to say, they put out quality content consistently. They're always putting out 2 to 3 videos a week in addition to some of the other videos that we talked about. It's always a good time. They do all sorts of things from more educational. They use their skills to teach about science. They did one on COVID. They did one on relative size of planets. They did a whole bunch of different breakdowns of how they work on simulations, how they work on computer graphics, and how they construct these things. It's just fun to watch. They're fun to watch. The people themselves, the way that the crew interacts, it's just a good time. All the stuff that they get up to, it's enjoyable to watch. I definitely recommend you check them out. And I would be remiss if I did not mention Good Mythical Morning. These two guys right here, Rhett and Link, are what make days bearable sometimes. They have very much become a routine for me. Every morning, Monday through Friday, they're posting up videos, and they're always fun. The games that they get up to, the guests that they have on, the conversation, just the banter between these two, it brightens every morning. Again, like some of the Corridor Digital videos that I watch every Saturday, these are what I'm watching when it's not Saturday. They put out such good videos, such reliable videos, and again, the games, the stunts that they get up to, the things that they eat, sometimes delicious, sometimes very much not. It's a great show. It's a great a morning opener. You don't have to watch it in the morning. Obviously, you can watch it whenever you want. But it is a great show with 2 of my favorite guys. And that's something else that has to be said for these two, Rhett and Link. They are, in many ways, the dads of the internet. Their channel has also been out for about 10 years, and I've watched them on and off for those 10 years. But their content, they do skits together, they do songs together. They are hilarious. They are deep and vulnerable and emotional at times. But the kinds of things that they do, the community that they've created, the positivity that they put out there, the quality and quantity of content, you really can't beat Rhett and Link. Not for Good Mythical Morning or for their companion videos, Good Mythical More, that both come out every day. And as a little side bonus, I would check out Mythical Kitchen. Check out these guys. They do some crazy things within the kitchen. I've learned a lot of things to do and not to do within the kitchen. the things that they make, the recipes they put together. I especially like when they do Myth Munchers, where they sort of break down. They had a video on steak, how to make the best steak, and some of the different processes that we've learned, and they kind of compare them against each other, and then try them out and find out what really is the best way to make a steak, what really is the best way to fry chicken, what really makes for the best grilled cheese. They have all sorts of videos, and they're crazy, guys. They're crazy. Check them out. They're a lot of fun. Mythical Kitchen. Next on my list, I have Daniel Greene. Daniel Greene, at least for me, I got exposed to him maybe a year and a half ago. I've been watching his content, and I got to say, I was immediately hooked. The kind of content he puts out, the kind of topics that he covers are things that I'm very interested in, as you'll see. Also, just his personality. He's a lot of fun to watch. Very conversational, very chaotic, very funny. But also seems very approachable, and the level of content that he puts out, I just really enjoy his flair. Now, one of the main things that drew me to Daniel Greene was sci-fi and fantasy, two genres that overlap often, that I've definitely had a sweet spot for, especially for fantasy. I've got a video coming out about why fantasy matters to me and in general. And what it means to me, what it means to society as a whole, and the things that we can take from it. So keep an eye out for a video on why fantasy matters. But just his breakdown, Daniel Greene's breakdown of sci-fi and fantasy books and series, TV shows, movies, is really inspired me to create content like this, but also to do more reading, do more viewing, and to kind of open myself up to the stories that are out there. There's so many stories if you just know where to look. And the number of books that he reads, the number of things that he reviews, makes it so interesting and something that I definitely want to engage with more. And that's one reason for putting together some videos to really push myself out there as far as kind of going beyond the comfortable and reading things that I wouldn't normally. But I have to say, another thing that I love about Daniel Greene is his fantasy news videos. About every week he puts out a fantasy news video that goes over anything that would be considered fantasy news. He goes over upcoming book releases, book covers. He goes over announced TV shows or movies, any casting news, any news within the publishing industry, any news that would be within the gaming industry, any number of things from any spectrum on the fantasy or sci-fi. It's just really interesting to hear about kind of what's going on, things that you hadn't heard on before. And the way that he breaks down the news is really interesting. Really, again, makes me want to get more involved, more active within the community of nerds and those who love this kind of stuff like I do. And these are just a few of the reasons why Daniel Greene has quickly become my favorite booktuber. Very inspirational, very chaotic at times, but very engaging content. I definitely recommend you check him out. He's definitely encouraged me to do more and push myself to do more content like his. So Daniel Greene, at some point in time, I'd love to do a collaboration, but we're not there yet. So give me some time. And last but certainly not least is my man John Campea. John Campea, again, is someone that I've watched probably for 6-7 years. His breakdowns of movies and movie industry, movie news. I've been watching him all the way back when he was on AMC Movie Talk. That's been some years. And just his demeanor, the way that he breaks down things, I think is super interesting. Has very much stoked within me the passion for film, even more than I already had. His movie news and movie reviews I find very engaging. It really encourages me to see films that I haven't had any interest in the past. Movies that I've never really heard of that I'm now excited to go see within theaters, which I do as regularly as I can. And I have really benefited from John Campea's content. The kinds of videos he puts out. He does about like an hour stream every day, usually a little over an hour, but those are broken down usually by topics, and I just put those on while I'm doing other things. And the level of information and things that I have learned, his passion, you can definitely feel his passion, as well as the guests that he has on his show, Robert Meyer Burnett and so many others. It is so interesting to watch and listen to them break down some of the latest in movies. And John Campea also benefits from having a long history as a movie reviewer, movie pundit. He has a lot of connections within the industry. He's worked on several films. He's even done a documentary on movie trailers that I haven't actually seen yet, but I'm very much looking forward to. The kind of content, the kind of things that I'm learning from him, learning about the industry, his passion for it, his passion for YouTube, and building a channel very much encouraged me to do similar content. I've dabbled around in the past as well with making movie reviews. It's something that I love. I've done some trailer breakdowns as well with Fourth Wall. I'll post a link to their channel below. But I have learned so much and been so encouraged and inspired by John Campea's content to do the same thing. To watch and appreciate videos that I haven't seen before, movies I haven't seen before, and really kind of experiment and expand my appreciation for what a movie lover is. And these are just a couple of things that make John Campea my favorite movie YouTuber. Now, there's a lot of movie tubers out there that I follow. A number that do a script analysis, that do character breakdowns, scene breakdowns. Cinema Therapy is one I've recently been watching, and I love their content. But for me, John Campea is the one that I've watched the most and that I connect with the most as far as his content goes. And it very much inspired me to do the same kind of thing, to do regular videos and to try it out and kind of push myself to do the best that I can for as long as I can. So thank you, John Campea. And that'll conclude my list, although there's many, many more that I could have put on here. And I think at some point in time, I'm going to come back around and do another list, maybe a list on movie YouTubers that I watch, maybe a list on gamers that I watch, different breakdowns and things. There's so much other content that I watch, really too much, but I love it. YouTube is such an incredible platform. Anybody with a decent camera and half decent lighting, and whatever this is, can sit down and post their content. Before YouTube, there really was no way to actively participate online with video content, and the things that it's brought forth have been incredible, and I'm very excited to be a part of it, wherever this might go. Thanks so much for sticking around. I know this was a little bit of a longer one. I hope you found it interesting and engaging. I hope you found some YouTubers you maybe haven't heard of before, or that I can direct some of your traffic in their direction. They definitely deserve a subscribe and a like. And if you don't mind, I'll take that as well. If you have a list of YouTubers that you enjoy watching that have been inspirational to you, or just when you're having a bad day and brighten the mood, go ahead and leave a comment below. Or better yet, why don't you make a video? Make a video of yourself doing the same thing that I did. Make a list of some of your favorite YouTubers. Share it down below, and I'd be happy to take a look. But that'll do it for me today. Thanks so much for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one.